Are people constantly telling you that you shouldn't run because it's bad for your knees? Or are you spending hours every week stretching to avoid injury? Well, it's about time we debunked some running myths that are holding you back from achieving your goals, and maybe even some of them will have some truth to them. Let's go. So let's start with running is bad for your knees. It was actually a comment referencing this exact thing that gave me the idea for this video. If I'm being honest, my mum was a runner and has now had 2 knee replacements, so this may be one of the ones that has some truth to it. However, my dad has also spent the past 46 years of his life running, and apart from a knee operation when he was 18, because running a marathon at 18 years old is bad for your knees, he hasn't had any knee issues, and I swear he's had an issue with every other part of his legs. I think comparing the shoes that people wore in the 80s to the shoes that we wear now, I can pretty confidently say, although I am not a doctor, that running in 2025 on 40mm of soft foam is not bad for your knees. Also, Holly tore her ACL playing hockey before she even started running, so every sport comes with its risks. We're just lucky that running is the best of those sports. Next myth. You must static stretch before every run to prevent injury. So static stretching can have a bit of a place in the warm-up. I do drills before all of my fast sessions, and those do include some static stretching, but that's more to just warm up and make sure that I'm ready to go, more so than it is to prevent injury. And there's quite a few things that are going to prevent injury and get you better at running before static stretching does, like running more or going to the gym and doing strength training. And there is a balance here, because static stretching is not a bad thing. It's just that your time is probably better used elsewhere. However, if something does feel particularly tight, it's probably a good idea to just give it a little stretch. Don't be scared of static stretching, don't avoid it, but don't spend half an hour every day doing it. Also, just so you know that I'm not lying about my lack of static stretching, here's my best attempt at me touching my toes.
Come on. Come on. That's terrible. I'm not sure I'm any better than that though.
Next myth. Strength training will make you bulky and slow. As if I didn't face enough public humiliation with my toe touching attempt, I can debunk this myth in 5 seconds by telling you that I've been going to the gym and lifting heavy twice a week, every week for like 12 years. As you can see, I don't have anything on my body that could be considered bulk, and I squat, albeit a quarter squat, like 120 kilos. If you're injury prone, or if you just want to get better at running, going to the gym and doing strength training is going to help a lot. And unless you're severely sacrificing mileage to get this gym work done, you're probably still not going to look good topless at the beach. I will definitely film a gym routine video at some point, so subscribe if you want to see that, and let's move on to the next myth. You need to run every day to get better. So there are definitely 2 sides to this, and it'll depend a lot on your current situation. But first of all, let me say that you do not have to run every day to get better at running. What you have to do is you have to train consistently. And if you're going from running 0 times a week to running 2 days a week, you're going to get better. But if you're at the point in your running where you are able to run every day and recover from that, you're going to get a lot better. When I'm actually in a training block, I will run every day with very few exceptions, which come in extreme cases of illness or very long travel. But then after the training block, I'm having almost a full week off of running and building back into it very gradually. Go watch this video to find out why that is. So honestly, it's just a balance, and the only really strong opinion I have on this is that run streaks are stupid. If you're sacrificing your recovery just to maintain a run streak, you're not going to get better, you're not going to improve. Please just cancel the run streak right now. Next myth. Every run needs to be in zone 2 or be really fast or avoid the grey zone. This is probably the main one that I hear from people, and if I'm being honest, I'm still not entirely sure what zone 2 or the grey zone are, but what I can say, even without this information, is that there's no bad pace that you're going to run at and get worse, and there's no amazing pace that you're going to run at and instantly get way better. You're going to get better at running if you run consistently and hit all the key paces for the race that you're targeting. For example, if you're training for a marathon, you need a lot of slow, easy running and a lot of running at marathon pace, but you also need some running at 10k and maybe even 5k pace. So we're hitting all the paces from a really easy jog to a pace that will probably feel like a sprint in the middle of marathon training. I call anything at marathon pace or quicker a hard day, and then everything else is an easy day. And the trick here is to run your easy days as slow as you need to make sure that those hard days get done well. So if the day before a hard session, your easy pace is 5 minutes per K, and the day after the hard session, your easy pace is 6 minutes per K, that's completely fine. You just have to get the volume in and really focus and prioritise getting those hard days done well. I could talk about training forever, but I don't want to linger too much on this point. But if you are interested in talking to me more about training, I'll leave the link to my coaching website in the description, and we'll move on to the next myth. So I'm going to call the next myth, no pain, no gain. And yes, when it comes to running being hard and the pain that comes with that, if you're watching this video, I'm sure that you know you should definitely run through that pain. Running is hard, it hurts, but you have to get through that to get the results that you want. What about when it comes to injury pain? Well, there's a balance here, and if you're injured, you should definitely not run. Your body's telling you that you've done a bit too much, it's been overworked a little bit, and you need the rest. However, there's a lot of aches and pains that come with running and running more, and these are the ones that you can run through if you know the difference. And that's the important thing here. It's knowing the difference between what is an injury and what is just like a bit of a niggle that naturally comes with the territory. I genuinely cannot remember the last time that I ran completely pain-free, but I'm so in tune with my body and all the aches and pains that come with running over 50,000 lifetime miles that I know what I can run through and what I shouldn't run through. Although historically, I'm also not the best at stopping when I should stop, and this has led to at least one injury that I can think of off the top of my head. So I may not be the best person to debunk this one, but let's move on to a myth that I am more qualified to debunk. You need the most expensive, high-tech running shoes to prevent injury. I'm from Scotland, which means two things. One, I talk funny, and two, I absolutely love a deal. So there is no way that you're going to catch me going to my local running shop and paying 200 quid for a pair of easy run shoes. I personally go for the ASICS GT 2000 for all of my easy running, even though everyone else has moved on to the Nova Blast or the Super Blast, or even the Adios Evo SL. Why have I not made the switch? Well, in my opinion, there's only one job for an easy run shoe, and that's to keep you uninjured. And I've been wearing the GT 2000s for well over 10 years, and neither of my two running injuries have come from that shoe, so I really see no reason to switch. Also, I can get the old models online for well under 100 quid, which is just not the case for those other shoes that I mentioned. When it comes to carbon plated race shoes, yes, you probably will have to fork out a little bit more, and I think that you should if your goal is to run as fast as possible. But once you choose what brand of carbon plated race shoes you want to wear, go online to somewhere like sportshoes.com or Start Fitness and choose the reduced colour. Here, for example, is the Adios Pro 4, which is what I personally use, and you can see that some colours are like £50 more expensive than other colours, and these are the exact same shoes with the exact same speed gains, so just get the cheap ones. Let's go to the final myth. You must avoid heel striking and run with a certain cadence. So unless you run like Phoebe from Friends, the way that you naturally run is probably the best way for you to run. And trying to force a change on your running form is only going to result in injury or make you less efficient at running. If you watch any marathon, you'll quickly see that there isn't only one way that elites run, and your running form will become naturally more efficient and better as you run more and as you get stronger in the gym. I've never made a conscious effort to change my running style, and I went from this to this just by running more and just by lifting heavier. So please don't try to change your running form. If you find that your hips are rotating a lot, just go and strengthen your hips. And yes, it will take a while to see the results, but all the best things do. And a quick fix here is only going to result in different issues quite quickly down the line. And that's all the running myths that I could come up with on my own. I really enjoyed filming this video, so if you have any other running myths, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to debunk them. And until next time, subscribe. Cheers.